Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of Apollo Justice, the Ace Attorney Trilogy. So you guys see what I'm wearing right here is I'm actually wearing my cosplay today for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I didn't realize this was an outfit for Apollo, but it's the exact same outfit that I have on that he has on right here. So we're going to be wearing this for the final parts. But anyways, let's do this case. We're going to be continuing from where we left off here, and let's see exactly what happens here. A lot of you guys in the comments told me that the major twist has still not happened. So I'm still going to see some major crazy twist, something that's going to freak me out. So I'm really curious what this is, this thing that's going to freak me out. But a lot of people tell me there's something that's going to freak me out. High Court of Khura'in, accused lobby. Talk about some really close shaves. Well, you can't get closer shave than Headsman brand blades, that's for sure. The trial's not even over yet, and I'm already exhausted. Still, you were able to fight back the Queen herself in there. Well, maybe with Miss Faye's help, I won't have to keep on playing her game much longer. Speaking of which, I guess it's a little late to be asking, but do you think she's well enough to testify, Mr. Wright? She slept all day yesterday out of exhaustion, apparently. That's all it was, so she should be okay. Barbed head, hornhead. Oh, hello, your benevolence. Princess Rafa, you were really impressive in there.
I am the royal priestess Rafa Padma Khura'in. And I am prepared to face my father's death.
Despite your mother's opposition, you stood your ground. And in doing so, you fulfilled your duty as the royal priestess. It was all thanks to you and your friends. Your belief in me gave me the courage to follow my path. So, you have my gratitude. Oh, don't mention it. I know, I shall thank you with a gift. What would you like, a cow? A horse? Or perhaps I should reward your efforts with a royal shoulder massage. Well, how about drop the charges against Dhurke? Oh, that's okay, your benevolence. Your gratitude is more than enough. But I thought you Americans liked massages. My technique was highly praised by my father, I'll have you know. Hey, you lawyers, where's the accused? Huh? Dhurke? That's a good question. I blew it big time, AJ. That's... Shut up, you. What's going on? This scoundrel tried to escape with the accused. What? We were able to nab him, but the accused is nowhere to be found. Where are you hiding him, you miscreant? I keep telling you, I got no idea where he went. I mean, yeah, we booked it together, but I lost track of him after that. So Dhurke's on the lam now? Probably, but who knows? He vanished in the blink of an eye. Vanished? You wanna know something, AJ? Dhurke said to me, I can't put Amara in danger. I have to set her free before it's too late. What? Don't tell me he's gone to rescue her. But that's what I am telling you. It's why I helped him escape in the first place. Do you realize what you've done? Well, what's done is done. Still, why did he choose to go rescue her now? Maybe he didn't want to die with any regrets or something. You know, just in case he ended up on the chopping block. Why, Dhurke? I thought you believed in me. Aw, don't be like that, AJ. He'll be back as soon as he frees Amara. You'll see. That's not the point, Listen, lawyer. You let us know immediately if the accused contacts you. The trial will now resume. See that you are ready. Wait, the trial's still on? Even without the defendant? Those were Her Eminence's orders, so you will return to the courtroom at once. Let's go, Apollo. All we can do is see where the next testimony leads. Okay, so this case is getting crazier. So where's the big twist? Is it that Dhurke left? High Court of Khura'in.
Now then, let's resume the trial at hand.
Your Majesty, my client seems to have gone missing. Yeah, about that.
What do you think, Your Eminence? Shall we proceed without the accused?
Why not? My royal guard is searching for him as we speak. They shall find him soon enough, for they would not dare to keep me waiting.
Yes, but what about the law governing court proceedings?
Then I shall simply revise it. Oh my god. Is she writing with her finger? As ruling sovereign of Karain, I proclaim the following. Should the accused be an enemy of the crown, they may be tried in absentia. Absentia. That means that... Also, here's the thing, is people can have trials even when they're not there. So, this oftentimes happens with, like, a war criminal, where if there's, like, a war criminal that escapes to another country, and they can't extradite him, they might still have a trial for that war criminal. And the trial is oftentimes symbolic. It'll condemn the person to life in prison or death. But most of the time they can't do anything. Because without the other country's help, they can't extradite the person back. But this has happened throughout history. This has also happened to a lot of Nazis. A lot of Nazis who have escaped to South American countries after World War II, they were actually tried in absentia, and they were found guilty. But because a lot of these countries weren't extraditing people, a lot of them weren't extradited back and weren't able to face charges. But their trials, they did end with them being guilty, getting life in prison or death.
Well, in that case, I guess there's no problem with proceeding. Will the witness, Miss Maya Fey, please approach the stand?
Okay, Maya's gonna be testifying. Sorry to summon you like this, Maya. Getting dragged out of bed and into court is not exactly a fun wake-up call, Nick. I'm sorry, Miss Fey. It was my idea. And you are? Oh, right. I'm Apollo Justice. It's nice to finally meet you. I just remembered. Apollo, this is the first time that Apollo has met Maya. He's never met Maya before this, right? That's right. Oh, so you're Apollo. Nick's told me all about you. You're the new guy with the loud voice and a bit of an unreliable streak, right? That's actually Maya's theme, even from the old Ace Attorney games. So I like how they kept her old theme in. Unreliable. Well, that was 2 years ago. You've come a long way since. So why was I called here anyway? Am I under arrest again? No, not a fourth time. Huh? I guess no one's filled her in. Well, she has been asleep this entire time. Miss Fey, this is a trial for Dhurke Sadmati, and you're here as a witness. What? Dhurke's been arrested? But... That's not exactly the reaction I was expecting.
Miss Fey, you are suspected of playing a part in the murder of Justice Minister Inga.
What?
Someone allegedly forced you to channel this minister to obfuscate the time of his murder. At least that is what the defense claims.
Wait, what? How could you, Apollo? How did you even reach that conclusion? Sorry, but it's the only way this whole case makes any sense.
Your understandable anger at the defense aside, will you testify, Miss Fey?
Yes, Your Majesty. Okay, let's see her testimony. I wonder what Maya's gonna say about the murder. Witness testimony. Channeling the minister. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I'd never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though, I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with.
It seems the witness doesn't believe she has ever channeled Justice Minister Inga.
And if her words prove to be true, defense, your entire argument becomes moot. You do understand that, don't you? Yes, of course. It doesn't seem like Miss Fey is lying. Apollo, Maya was being awfully secretive about something just now. And I guess I better dig a bit and try to get her to open up to me first. Yeah, I saw it. It was her final statement. Her final statement, it was a little bit off. Oh, and I only have one chance because I messed up so much on the previous part. I know I didn't channel Mr. Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with. This. What is this? It sounds to me like you're trying to hide something, Miss Faye. Didn't anyone teach you about respecting boundaries, Apollo? It's really rude to pry into a person's private affairs. Sorry. I didn't realize, Wait, we're in a court of law. Yeah, I know. Then what was all that about me being rude? I'm just doing my job. So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dhurke I wouldn't say. You made a promise to Dhurke? But, here's the thing is, she is basically withholding testimony right now. This is looking really bad for her. Really, really bad. A pretty big one. I think this is about all you're going to get out of her. Yeah. Maya seems really confused, so this is the big twist. Maya's hiding something, but you can't blame her for not knowing what happened. True. After all, first she was kidnapped, and now she's wrapped up in a murder case. We'll have to fill her in as she gives her testimony. I don't have any idea what's going on, but...
Hold it!
You've been asleep ever since you were rescued from the tomb, correct? I was exhausted of being held captive for so long. That must have been terrible. Maya, Mr. Inga didn't do anything to you, did he? Oh no, it wasn't like that. On the contrary, I asked him for all sorts of things. Like what? Like, I'm really craving burgers, and I'll die if I miss an episode of The Plume Punisher. Acting like a brat netted me a TV and even a few burgers from someplace. He was surprisingly nice to me. Huh? Are you sure we're talking about the same guy here? He may have loomed large, but he was unexpected easily to push around. Even though he's the one who was responsible for pushing those execution papers through. Oh, that? Approving executions was simply his preferred method of stress relief. Stress relief? With a wife like her, he was probably really pushing them through out of fear. I'm beginning to see why he wanted to stage a coup. In any case, my time in captivity wasn't so bad, but of all things that happened, I know I didn't channel Minister Inga.
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? Maybe you just don't remember channeling him. Don't remember? I may be 28, but I'm not senile, you know. Something's not right here. Miss Faye, you were confined to Amara's tomb this whole time, is that correct? Yes, but I wasn't conscious the whole time. Okay, so let me ask you something. Did you ever see Nana in the tomb? Dressed as Dhurke. Huh? Is this some kind of joke? I think I'd remember if I saw something as crazy as that. Plus, I doubt anyone would carry out a crime like that right in front of a potential witness. I hate when he's right. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that.
Hold it!
You didn't have a chance to channel him. Does channeling someone take a long time? Not really. Once you get hang of it, it's pretty much instantaneous. But I was all tied up, literally. So there was no way for me to make the channeling mudra with my hands on it. Right. I guess she really didn't channel Inga then. Maya, when mediums are done with a session, they can send the spirit back to the other world themselves, right? Sure, unless they're still in training. Amateurs can get possessed by spirits sometimes. But full-fledged mediums can stay in total control of the session. And they can send the deceased spirit away anytime they want. So I take it you can do that too, Miss Faye. Of course! It's a cinch for the new and improved Mystic Maya Faye, a spirit medium. That's strange. You seem like the same old childish Maya to me. I'll show you, childish Nick. Enough! The witness is denying that she channeled any spirits. Further questioning is pointless. It appears your little fiction has been soundly exposed for what it is. You should listen to her, Apollo. I don't even know why you suspected me in the first place. I mean, you don't have any evidence of me channeling Minister Inga, do you? Oh, evidence, huh? There's no point even thinking about it, really. I don't use anything special to channel spirits, so there wouldn't be anything left behind. That's true. Just like when she channeled the High Priest, all Maya needs is her own body.
If the defense has no evidence to offer, I will have to end this cross-examination.
What now? Even if she doesn't use any special items to the channeling itself, you'd think there would be something to complete the deception.
Is there any proof that Justice Minister Inga was channeled?
Okay, I'm gonna save right here to make sure I don't mess up. Is there proof that Minister Inga was channeled? Yeah, the channeling, right. You bet there is. You bet there is. Really?
Well, now.
You're bluffing, I take it. I'll be fine. If we're right, then there must be some sort of proof to back us up. Time to do some serious thinking, Apollo Justice. Okay, we know that when Rafa saw her father, he wasn't dressed like Miss Faye, right? Right, because if he was, Rafa would have immediately known he was being channeled. So that means he was dressed in his usual suit when Rafa saw him. Aha! Good thinking, Apollo. This might be the perfect angle to attack from.
Alright, let's have an answer from the defense. What proof do you have that Miss Maya Fey channeled Justice Minister Inga?
The gemstone! That's the proof. That's the proof right there. Oh, how did I not see this? I'm glad I fought this out. I was thinking this through. I was looking at like a picture of Queen Garan, and I was thinking that maybe she was dressed up like him. But now I see it. The proof is right here. It's the gemstone. Inga's button discovered in the ashes of the tomb incense burners, caked in soot. The reason is because when a spirit is channeled in the Ace Attorney universe, that whatever the spirit medium is wearing is what the spirit will be wearing. But what happened was whoever channeled Minister Inga was wearing Minister Inga's clothes, and being a Justice Minister, he probably had multiple pairs of the same clothes. But what happened to it? The clothes were burned in the incense burner. That's why the gemstone was the only thing that was left. That wasn't destroyed.
Take that!
Is that a gemstone?
We found this among the ashes of one of the tomb's incense burners. Does this gemstone ring any bells, Your Eminence? What? What was that doing in the tomb? Ah, so you do recognize it, but then, as his wife, how could you not recognize his gemstone button from your husband's jacket? I don't get where you're going with this. The clothes were burned. Channeling Mr. Inga alone wouldn't be enough to fool someone like Princess Rafa, especially if he were wearing your clothes. So you would have had to change into the minister's clothes before channeling him. Ah! Miss Faye, you used the minister's clothes as cover while going from his room to the tomb, where you burned them once you no longer needed them. What? Uh-oh. She seems genuinely surprised by that, Apollo.
Objection!
Miss Faye? Yes. Do you know my husband's name? It was, Inga Caracol Karain, right? That is correct in part, but there's more. Much more. Inga Caracol, how do, Disin... Karain 3? What? Inga Caracol, how could Disinam Biani, Laga, Ormo, Pompous, Dennet, Arensis, Karain the Third? My god, what kind of name is that? But, what is the pun for this? Inga Caracol, how Disinam Biani, Laga, Ormo, Pompous, Dennet, Arens is. His name means something, but what's the pun? When you read the names quickly enough, that is his true name. Could it be any longer? Due to its length, only a portion of it was ever made public. So, Miss Faye, did you know his true name? No. I mean, how could I? Precisely. Yet a medium must know both the face and true name of the one she seeks to channel. So basically, she did it then. She's the only one that could have done it then. So then, Miss Faye couldn't have channeled Minister Inga. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Why would I want to randomly channel some old guy I don't know? And I didn't like, thanks to that last trial. Oh, I can't believe this. Apollo, I really don't think Maya's lying. However, your line of reasoning still seems credible to me. I agree, but there's something tripping us up in the details. Maybe we're working off some wrong assumption again. Apollo, I was thinking. Yes? Since I didn't channel Mr. Inga, is it possible that someone else did? Yes! Queen Garan. Someone else. But who else could it have been? It could have been Nena. Nena could have done it, possibly. There's a possibility too. Does Nena know how to channel right? If Nena was the yeah, Nena could have done it. It's possible. Nena, because Nena, I think that Nena is Amara. That's what I think, my theory personally. And if Nena is, yeah, I think that Nena is Amara, because Amara doesn't have a separate page in here. It is Nena. There's no separate page for Amara. But if you look at the picture of Amara right here, you see her eyelashes, you see that? And then you look at those gray eyelashes, look at those. And then if you look at Nena, right there, the same gray eyelashes, just up a little bit, she's, but it's still the same eyelashes, basically. So, is it possible Nena could have channeled him? Because if Nena was the one who killed him, Nena could have channeled him. That's a possibility, too. I haven't thought that far yet. Such chatter is without merit. Let us move on now, shall we? I don't care what Garan says. I'm going to figure this out. If it wasn't Miss Faye and the Queen has an alibi, then... Apollo, forget about who is capable of channeling spirits for a second. I should consider the circumstances around the channeling, right? Right. We know Rafa saw her father come running out of his private quarters. If he was being channeled at the time, who could it have been? It had to have been someone who was in Inga's private quarters. Well, I'm waiting, Defense, and you know how much I despise waiting. Yes, but... there is someone else besides Miss Faye who could have channeled Mr. Inga. There's just one more person, and they were in Inga's private quarters. That person is our only hope now. So the defense believes that there was another. Let's have your very serious answer, then. With pleasure. Horn Devil. Who could have channeled Mr. Inga? Nena.
Take that!
See if I'm right on this theory. Nena. Your Eminence said it yourself. That's right. Nena never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters. How do you know? It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Nena. And then there's her benevolence's statement. She said that Nena disappeared right after she entered Minister Inga's private quarters. The room from which Minister Inga himself came running out of not long after. You are not seriously suggesting. It's the only thing that makes sense. Nena channeled Minister Inga and left his private quarters thereafter. That's why no one has seen her since. And why only the minister's shoe prints were found outside his residence. Ah, no way! That's gotta be it. Nena must have somehow channeled the minister. All of the circumstantial evidence has fallen into place. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't claim Nena isn't connected to this case somehow. In light of this, the defense calls Nena to the stand.
Well, Your Eminence.
Very well, then. Let us call Nena to testify. Yes, now we can finally crack this case wide open.
Let's adjourn while the witness is summoned.
There is no need. Nena is in the waiting lobby. What? Nena's here? I thought she'd gone missing. It seems she was feeling unwell and simply wished to rest undisturbed. But her concern for Rafa brought her here today. She took time off without Rafa's knowledge or consent. I'm betting there's more to her disappearing act than meets the eye, Apollo. There is. That's Nena.
Miss Nena, do you understand why you've been summoned here today?
Yes, of course. Her Eminence has informed me that this man here suspects I have committed a crime. So this is Nena. That's quite the hairdo. Though I will say... I suppose I'm not as old as I had thought. If this horn-headed nincompoop would take me for a criminal... Nincompoop? Isn't that Rafa's favorite insult? I guess Nena rubbed off on her, what with all the time they spent together. You there, young hornhead. Yes. You're accusing me of slaying Minister Inga and channeling his spirit, yes? What an active imagination you have. Young folk are so wonderfully, open-minded. Ha ha ha, thanks. Just take the compliment, Justice.
Now then, will the witness please proceed with her testimony? This court wishes to know if you did or did not channel Mr. Inga in his private quarters.
I'm no spirit medium, Sonny. I was feeling under the weather yesterday, and decided to rest these weary bones. Besides which, a lowly servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling, here in Karain. After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence Queen Naran is the only spirit medium left. If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young lass Maya Fey. She is Queen Amara. I think she's Queen Amara. And there you have it. Seems we have summoned her for nothing. Only those of the royal bloodline have the power of spirit channeling. That a servant such as Nena could channel spirits is a most unamusing jest. On the surface, anyway. But our line of reasoning has led us to this end. That Nena channeled Inga's spirit.
Alright, the defense may now question the witness.
I'm no spirit medium, Sonny. I was feeling under the weather yesterday and decided to rest these weary bones. Where were you? Alby's dog stole your hat while you were in the courtyard yesterday afternoon. Was it after that you decided to take a rest? I had been feeling unwell all day and had pushed myself too hard. I kept feeling weak and dizzy, and that dirty mongrel only served to worsen my condition. While I sympathize with you, Nena, you took the whole day off without informing Princess Rafa. She was very worried about you, you know. How very kind of her benevolence. But she need not concern herself with the welfare of a mere servant such as I. Except Terefa. Nea's not just a mere servant. To even think a commoner could channel spirits or slay a minister. What hogwash. Besides, which a lowly servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium.
Hold it!
I hear you are the head servant. Isn't that right? Are you suggesting that my position affords me the ability to channel spirits? Since you're the head servant to a family of channelers, I say it's plausible. If you wanted to, it's not impossible for you to learn through exposure. I think not. For that goes against the very underpinnings of the Kingdom of Kharain. To become a spirit medium requires a noble spirit and rigorous training. Most importantly, one must be a direct descendant of the founder. It's not simply some hobby one can take up in the matter of knitting or gardening. So commoners could never become a medium, no matter how hard they tried. That is common knowledge to all who are born and raised here, young hornhead. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling here in Kharain.
Hold it!
Okay then. What if you actually have royal blood in your veins, Nina? Like a distant relative or something. I am from a line of humble fishermen, all the way back to my grandfather's grandfather. I've never heard talk of royal blood or noble ancestry. Apollo, if spirit channeling is a secret art passed down from mother to daughter, then even with a royal ancestor, it'd be impossible to learn without the right training. It's as Barb one says. It also must be mentioned that this secret art is only taught here in the Kingdom of Kharain, and your country's Kharain village. Why aren't things falling into place like I expected?
I would ask the witness to continue her testimony.
After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence, Queen Garan, is the only spirit medium left. Queen Amara was the victim of an assassination, right? Yes. Oh, she was a beautiful, gentle soul. But she fell in love with a man of dubious origins, and was murdered in a terrible blaze. Fate can be so cruel. Except she's actually still alive. Poor Nana's yet another follower unwittingly praying over an empty sarcophagus. Amara, the queen who's been locked away and her existence in this world erased. But the fact that she is still alive shackles Nayuta to Garan's will. Nayuta, the only reason you're still standing there by that woman's side is because you're afraid of what would happen to Amara otherwise, right? We need not recount such ancient history. Let's continue with the witness's testimony. If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young lass Maya Fey. Miss Fey was being held hostage. She was completely tied up and didn't even know Minister Inga's true name, making it impossible for her to kill or channel him. Bah, I know nothing of that. Listen, you horn devil. Were you not just insinuating that it was Maya Fey who had channeled Mr. Inga? My, how quickly you change your tune. No, I'm just quick on my feet when new information presents itself. I'm also quick to force my biggest smile when times like these demand it. It's great that you're following my advice, Apollo. But try not to look so forced while you do it, would you? Nana is right about one thing, though. Only those of the royal bloodline can be spirit mediums in Kharain. Common folk like us are out of luck. Yeah, I guess so. Still. I think I'd finally be close to connecting all the dots once I point one very big thing out. Okay, so there's something she's lying about. I wonder.
Objection!
I got it right. Okay, so I presented what makes sense in terms of a direct contradiction. Except I don't know how to make it make sense in the larger context of this case.
Well, is the defense going to follow up its loud objection with a stout explanation? Sound explanation?
Oh, sorry. How do I put this? I believe there's a problem with Naina's testimony.
Go on.
She asserted that she could not possibly be a spirit medium because, in Karain, only members of the royal family can learn how to channel spirits.
I fail to see the problem in that statement, defense.
Hold on, I'm getting to it, Your Majesty. Naina stated an absolute falsehood. Since we know that Amara is still alive. At the same time, circumstantial evidence points to Naina channeling Inga. After all, just after she entered his private quarters, Inga came running out screaming, despite having been killed at 2 p.m. That would mean that Naina channeled Inga. Even though supposedly only those of the royal family are capable of doing so. Wait. Is it too late to ask for a refund on my trip down the rabbit hole? Mr. Wright, you may think I've lost my mind with this bluff, but if I can at least establish the possibility, I think it'll give us the break we need. Wait a sec. Are you going to propose what I think you are? Yes. It's a huge risk, but I think there's a chance I can prove it. Will the court please take a look at this photo? That's... This photo's very existence, to say nothing of the person in it, contradicts the witness's claim that Queen Garan is the only remaining spirit medium in Karain. Horn Devil, you mustn't! Oh, but I must. Under these circumstances, the outcome of this trial depends on it. But you already knew that, didn't you, Your Eminence? Oh, she's pissed.
Will the defense please explain who is shown in the photograph?
The person in this photo is the previous queen, Amara Sigatur Karain. Contrary to popular belief, she was never assassinated. In fact, she's very much alive.
What? But that's nonsense.
Take a good look at the law book in this photo, Your Majesty. The mark of the dragons branded on it could only have been placed there after Queen Amara's supposed assassination. Queen Amara is still alive? Has the lawyer gone mad?
Well, I personally find it hard to believe. I will allow the defense to continue. You may proceed, defense.
Queen Amara's death was staged to keep her safe from her would-be killer. Yet according to Dhurke, she's actually being held captive somewhere. But the real truth is that Queen Amara is not being held in confinement. Rather, she walks freely among us. Here in this very courtroom today.
But how?
I think that Nayuda knows the truth. Yeah, Nayuda knows the truth. That's Naina is... Do not be deceived, Your Majesty. The Red Pepper is skilled in weaving plausible lies. It is a cunning lawyerly art known as bluffing. But knowing this, there is no need to fear this, his forked heart. That's where you're wrong, prosecutor. Because you'll be quaking in your boots soon enough. Is that so? It's my turn, Yuta, to wake you up to the truth right before your own eyes. Queen Amara is still very much alive and has been disguising herself as Nana.
Take that!
I was right.
But that's...
This is the simplest and cleanest explanation for everything we've covered so far. The person who killed Minister Inga, someone with intimate knowledge of the divination seance, the medium who channeled the minister in order to mask the real time of his death, condense these traits into one person, you get a spirit medium of royal blood. And that person is none other than you, Nana. Look how nervous she is. Your true identity is the former Queen Amara and the killer we've been looking for all along.
What?
Objection!
Have you finally lost your mind, Mr. Justice? What you say is beyond blasphemous, even in the depths of hell. Oh my, such frightening allegations.
Indeed, and absolutely ludicrous to boot. Her Eminence, Queen Amara, yet lives. And it's actually Miss Nana here? You have truly gone off the deep end.
You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, a certain someone can help me prove it. Your Eminence. If Queen Amara truly is dead, you should be able to channel her spirit right here, right now. Isn't that correct? Oh, he got her good. I can deny it no longer. The lawyer speaks the truth. Nana, the woman who stands here before us, is Amara, the former queen believed to have perished 23 years ago. Paul
Kunka!
Well, this is a twist. Finally. We finally got Inga's real killer in the stand. Nana, no, Amara Sigatur Karain. Please drop the act and tell us what really happened. Oh, dearie me. I guess I shouldn't have underestimated the power of youth. Well done, young hornhead. What is she doing? What the? Whoa! I was getting tired of masquerading as an old woman anyway. It has been far too long since I last greeted you, good people of Karain. It is I, Amara Sigatur Karain, your former queen.
Queen Amara!
What? Ah! I thought Garan's makeover was extreme.
Can it really be true? You are alive and well?
It's true. I feel as if I have been called back from the Twilight Realm. I fear I've caused all of you a great deal of distress. Oh. Amara, I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep your secret any longer. I hope you can forgive me. It's quite alright, Garan. I'm safe now. For Dhurke, that blackguard who threatened my life will be recaptured soon enough. I need not conceal my identity any longer.
Queen Amara, what does this all mean? Were you not killed in that fire 23 years ago?
So, she's bad-mouthing Dhurke, but the thing is she being threatened by Queen Garan? Who's the bad guy here? That's what I'm trying to understand. I barely escaped that blaze of my life. But though I survived, I knew that scoundrel would make further attempts on my life. Therefore, I staged my death and abdicated the throne to my dear younger sister Garan.
But the building of that great tomb, and disguising yourself as a lowly servant, why would you do such a thing?
Garan, I would have you explain. I wished for her to be close at hand. It was the only way I felt I could protect her. And it was the best way to hide her from the eyes of the public. After all, who could conceive of Amara lowering her station to that of a servant? She's got that right. Even Dhurke thought Amara was being held captive in some far-off place. He never even guessed she was living as a servant, right in plain sight. I must say, a life dedicated to servitude of others is not the least bit disagreeable. She hasn't opened her eyes once yet. It's a quite humble existence, far removed from the tedium of regal duties. Ah, but those days of peace have ended. And it's all because of you, Hornhead. You should consider yourself lucky if that's all this ends with. If there is something you wish to say, then say it. It doesn't matter who you are. You won't escape the crime you committed. The defense moves to indict you as Justice Minister Inga's real killer.
What's this? You would accuse Queen Amara of homicide? A Grand Priestess of Karanism? You can't do that. She's virtually a goddess in the eyes of her people, but she still committed a crime. Just because you're a queen doesn't mean that you can't be guilty of a crime. If you commit the crime, you better be ready to do the time. Yup, that's an American saying. That is very much an American saying. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Be you a priest, saint, queen, or god. I've never met such an egalitarian person.
Queen Amara, in your years as Sky's Nina, you would have learned about Minister Inga's disorder. So you knew you could just dress in Dhurke's clothes to forge a convincing seance vision. Isn't that right? Oh, what a curious character you are. You would label me a murderer. Me, the one who the people regarded as the reincarnation of the Holy Mother herself. You may be grand figure in Karanism, but as a foreigner, you're just another suspect to me. Oh, what he said. As a foreigner, you're just another suspect to me. He really got her good there. But that's the thing is, remember what Dhurke said to Apollo? He said that the truth might be hard for you to accept. And I think this is what he might mean. Dhurke probably knows that Amara is the killer. That's what he probably knows, and that's probably why he's hiding it. It would appear your words are not in jest. Am I to suffer the sullying of my good name with accusations of murder most foul?
Please, Queen Amara, forgive his impudence. The lawyer knows not what he speaks.
Fear not, good magistrate, for this is the sacred hall of justice. Though I am a grand priestess, on this stand I am but a witness like any other. I shall face accusations with grace and benevolence.
Your compassion overfloweth your mercifulness.
Oh, young lawyer. In my benevolence, I must warn you that your assertion suffers from a tragic flaw. Huh? There's a flaw. Nayuta. Yes, your mercifulness. Who was present in the tomb when the murder was discovered? Dhurke, Sadmati, Maya Fey, and the victim, Minister Inga. I see. That is a fatal flaw indeed. It appears Queen Amara couldn't possibly have gone to the tomb as Minister Inga. What? Why not? Do not keep the defense waiting, Nayuta. Explain how wrong he truly is. Yes, your mercifulness. Her benevolence, Princess Raifa, saw Minister Inga enter the tomb around 2:30 p.m. Yet you, the defense, claimed the person, she saw was the minister, being channeled by Queen Amara. However, if her mercifulness had channeled him and moved to the tomb, then once she was done channeling, Queen Amara would have re-emerged and been left stuck in the tomb. Oh yeah. Had she tried to exit before you all arrived, Princess Rayfa, who had been looking down upon the courtyard, would have seen her. However, her benevolence saw nothing of the sort. Urgh. In conclusion, Queen Amara could not have left the tomb without being observed. And yet she was there in the tomb when the murder was discovered, Defense. No, she wasn't. Now do you see? Your flimsy claim has been uprooted like a sapling in a flood. Well, that was entertaining. Prosecutor Sadbati, assume the prosecution of this case and clear your mother's good name. You wish for me to take over? Yes, prosecute your father to save your mother. What a poignant fate you bear, but bear it you must. Are you ready? Yes, Your Eminence. And there you have it, Your Majesty. I shall watch the rest of the proceedings from the sidelines. I relinquish complete control of the sacred hall to your authority once more.
Why, thank you, Your Eminence. Now then, your mercifulness, your testimony, if you please.
Witness testimony. The lawyer's theory is absurd. Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous, theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. My husband Dhurke is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dhurke Sadmati for his crimes.
Oh, such marvelous testimony. You truly are a treasure, mercifulness.
This, too, is but by the grace of Her Holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was her will as well.
Oh my! The Holy Mother, you say?
Yes, surely Her Holiness has guided me to this witness stand. What the? And to the purity of truth. What the? Where all the animals come from?
Oh, how magnificent! Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger here on Earth.
Praise be for Queen Amara. Blessings upon her mercifulness. Where did those animals even come from? Same thing I said.
Now then, the defense may question the witness. But remember, she is a Grand Priestess, so disrespect her will not be tolerated. This means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any other flaws in her testimony.
What? That's my job. The animals are gonna be there during the testimony, too? Okay, Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory.
Hold it!
My theory is utterly absurd and barbarous. And high-handed, if I may say so. Nayuta was right to call you putrid-minded. Surely even the monkeys of Mount Pony's holy waterfalls could devise a better theory. Surely it can steal better insults than Nayuta's best. Now then, to all you gathered in this sacred hall, need I remind you? I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Well, maybe you were hiding inside the sarcophagus. After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you'd have no trouble opening it. If I had been in there, I could not be there today. I could not be here today. For the tomb has been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave. I guess not. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyways? You're still alive, so... There is a despair, sadness, hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within could discover the final hope, my continued corporal reality. You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty. But no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse. Now, will you dispense with your theory? It's as empty as my sarcophagus. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling.
Hold it!
I'll admit you weren't in the tomb after the murder. Very good, but that very true refutes your theory. Even if I channeled Minister Inga and entered the tomb, the moment I ceased channeling him, I would have reemerged at the crime scene. Precisely. As you said yourself, Defense, Queen Amara was not there after the murder. The only living souls in the tomb at that time were Dhurke, Sadmani, and Maya Fey. Ugh. Be it in this life or the next. There is no escaping such simple truths. My husband Dhurke is the killer, but he has fled from this sacred hall.
Hold it!
There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today. A reason? Ah, perhaps... Perhaps what? Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to reclaim my life.
What's this?
Objection!
No. It's definitely not like that, your mercifulness. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you? After all, you two ran off together after he rescued you all those years ago. That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me. You must believe me. It was my duty as a wife to her husband. To bend an ear to him, was it not? Communication after disagreement is the secret to long and happy marriage. Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Don't ask me. I wonder if she really believes that. If she really believes Dhurke is innocent or guilty. That is why I listened to Dhurke. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me. If he tried to murder you, he could have killed you while you're with him the entire time.
That's quite enough. It's abundantly clear that Queen Amara's testimony is flawless.
Oh, ho. Do you understand now, lawyer? This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer. Amara should have been in the tomb after the minister's murder, but she wasn't. I don't get it. How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? It shouldn't be possible for normal people to... For normal people. Ah. Maybe. Maybe what? Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Queen Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder.
Very well, Defense. Do explain.
I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of. And by using that special method, it will be possible for her to literally disappear.
Well, don't keep us waiting. Let's hear it. How did Queen Amara disappear from the tomb?
She channeled someone else again? She channeled someone. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else.
Why, I believe that actually makes sense.
What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara? You believe that I, a Grand Priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder?
Oh my. Oh, what the? Eek! Mercy or mercifulness? How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, Defense?
I was thinking. She could have channeled... The only way...
No. Could it be? No. No. No, no. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. I have a theory right now. And my theory, if this is true right now, this is gonna completely flip everything upside down if this is true. And this is gonna be really disturbing if this is true. Here's what I'm thinking right now. Remember what Inga saw. He saw a prosecutor. Inga saw Dhurke Sadmati. The only way the queen could have left there is if she channeled someone. What if, and this is a big if, she channeled Dhurke? What if she did that? And the only way she could have channeled Dhurke is if Dhurke is already dead. And remember now, Dhurke is not here in this courtroom. He's not. He apparently went to go look for her. So what if, when we saw Dhurke, the entire time he's been dead, but he's just been being channeled? What if that's the truth? Was she channeling Dhurke the entire time? Every time we saw Dhurke, every time, was he already dead? And he was just being channeled by Amara? That's a huge possibility I'm thinking of. Dhurke was dying. He was sick. What if that's what if he already died? But she's been channeling him this entire time. Now that I think about it, that's a really crazy theory, but could that really be true? It sounds really, really crazy, but could it? How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, defense? You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution, but
that's the only way she could have left, is if she channeled Dhurke. No good, Magistry. It is quite alright. They didn't explain how Dhurke got to, America, too. That wasn't explained as well. Koreanism also teaches that we must respond at all times with reason principle. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation. You have something to counter with? Indeed. Now are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply vanish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a deceased person to channel. However, there's only one murder victim in the tomb. And that was Mr. Inga. The only others there right after his murder were Dhurke and Miss Faye. Ah, had I channeled Inga as you allege, well, the outcome would have been quite odd to say the least. For there, besides the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared. Even if I had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the deceased minister. So you see, I could not have vanished by means of spirit channeling. That's true, but can't rule it out yet. Because, well, what if there was another victim? Someone we haven't identified yet. How absurd. If you channeled someone other than Mr. Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb. Another victim. Queen Amara. Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not going to like what I'm about to find out? Mr. Inga was the sole victim. There was no other spirit to channel until he was dead.
Hold it!
What if there was another victim besides Mr. Inga? What on earth could you mean? The only body found in the tomb was the minister's. Yeah, but, Mara's counter-arguments are too spot on for us to rebut. Actually, there is one possibility. What's the matter, Apollo? That's one heck of a face you're making. Oh no, it's nothing really. And yet, that means... I wonder. Mysterious bloodstain. I'm scared if my theory is true. Dhurke's really been dead the entire time. Let's see.
Objection!
I can't believe I'm presenting this. But it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones theirs at the scene of the crime were Maya, Dhurke. No, it can't be.
Would the defense care to share something with us?
Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you? Whatever you're talking about. If you won't tell this court, then I will.
Well, don't keep us waiting.
It is true. This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead. But a second victim, Apollo? Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. Oh, you putrid pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But I suppose I indulge you, and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim? Oh. There's no way this can be true. But... no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was... Dhurke Sadmani, leader of the Fine Dragons and the man who raised me. He was a lawyer once. Listen, son, even if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have any long to live. There is no escaping death now that it has its sights set on me. Dhurke knew everything, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
What? You can't! That's not possible! The defendant, Dhurke Sadmati, is the one who Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim. This is insanity!
Polkunka!
Apollo, what are you... Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. I don't know when or why Dhurke was murdered. But the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they've led me. I see, after Inga's murder, Dhurke and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara... But it can't be. Can it? Dhurke's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the, clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? The only logical explanation is... Dhurke had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough. Your explanation cannot be the truth. What? So was his body burned in the burner that was in the tomb? Is that even possible? Did that happen as well? But it would take a long time for that to burn, and some bones would still be left, unless Dhurke was dead for a long time. That's also a possibility. He's been dead for some time, and every single time we've seen him, he's just been channeled. Your explanation cannot be the truth, and you would dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion. Nayuda, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Dhurke's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. The sarcophagus. And there is only one such place. You truly have proof. The sarcophagus. The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb.
Go check the tomb? But why?
Because I believe Dhurke's killer hid his body here.
Take that!
You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means...
I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence, being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it.
If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let's contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation into the matter.
Now then, Detective Sky, your report if you please.
I'll start with my findings. Please, please, please let me be wrong about this. I just want things to be as they were. A search the sarcophagus. Reveal the body that appears to be several days old. A body! The Detective Sky. Tell me it wasn't Dhurke. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base. I have a photo of the body. And I have positively identified it as... Dhurke Sad Maddie. Dhurke! No! Why? Why'd this have to happen? Damn it, Dhurke. Answer me. So basically, when we saw him in America, he was still alive then. He wasn't being channeled. It wasn't until only recently that he died. How can this be? The traitorous Snake, the very head of the insurgency, murdered. Oh, what a joyous day. Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return whatever rocks they crawled out from under. Ah! Who, what was I even fighting for? Apollo. What am I supposed to do now? Hi. Son. A lawyer. Should never look the way you do right now. A dragon never yields. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. But Dhurke, what if the truth is that you're... Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth, no matter what it turns out to be. I know it because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. You believed in me that much, Dhurke. Dhurke, I think I finally understand. I can't yield, not now, not ever. Not after Dhurke believed in me, despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dhurke left me with two things I must do. Are you alright, Apollo? Sorry about that, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine now. Apollo. Detective Sky. Yes. How sure are you that the body's been there for a few days? I'm positive. No autopsy's been performed yet, but I'd say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshot wounds from a small caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death. Dhurke's corpse photo. More than 3 days have passed since his death. He was shot 3 times in the chest. At least 3 days, huh? And that butterfly thing that he has in his chest there, you see that, it looks very similar to that one. That means Dhurke was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States? So Dhurke was dead. Okay, wait, so when Dhurke was in America, he was dead then. Then who was channeling him? I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay into the US without arousing suspicion. He had also the solid cover story so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dhurke when I saw him in the States. It was Maya.
Take that!
Maya? Oh, I see. He was being held hostage at the time. So it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right. And do you remember what she said earlier? So please, just tell me. What exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dhurke I wouldn't say. You made a promise to Dhurke. Mm-hmm. A pretty big one. Dhurke didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out. And that would snuff out the flames of revolution for good. Miss Faye, Dhurke told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he? I guess it's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I promised not to tell. Dhurke made me promise before he died. So I was right then. I'm Apollo. There's something I need to tell you. It's about, you know, Dhurke's final moments. I'm listening, Miss Faye. What happened in his final moments? It was soon after I was kidnapped. Dhurke paid me a visit in that tomb where I was being held captive. I'd say it was a few days before Minister Inga's murder. Hey, young lady, time to get you up and out of here. Oh. It's that revolutionary guy. I'm here to rescue you. You are? Why? I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag. So I started digging around. That's when I found out you'd been abducted. But why would a rebel help me? Let's go before it's too late. It is already for you, pal. Oh, that's Inga. Heh. Long time no see, you rebel blowhard. Inga, I know you're up to something, and I'm going to find out what. That's gotta, smart. You've become a real thorn in my side, see? So it's time for you to be, pushing up daisies. Dhurke! He got shot, yeah. Heh, did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon? What the? Ah. What are you, some kind of freak? Nuts to this. Dhurke was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He was shot 3 times, but Inga fired 4 times. That's what I noticed. He sacrificed himself for me. These ropes. I've got to help you. Relax, it's going to be okay. Sorry things turned out this way, but it doesn't look like I have much longer. No, don't say that. You're a spirit medium, aren't you? When I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit. Stop it, don't give up like that. If you do, untying a rope like that will be child's play. No. Please, hang in there. You can still make it. Promise me. On one thing, young lady. It's about my son. Dhurke was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time. So he asked me to return to the US and channel his spirit. He really said that. He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years, but kept putting it off. And that this was his last chance. You just show up here without warning after all this time. What gives? I came all this way to see you, son. Come rejoice. Right. Why don't you tell me the real reason you're here? But that was the real reason he was there. That's sad. You really did come to the US because you wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dhurke's body in a sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb. Apollo, you can't stop now. Dhurke would want you to keep pressing on. I know, Miss Faye. And I won't disappoint him.
Defense, if you are ready to proceed. I would first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death will impact what we know about this case?
Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now.
Very well. Your explanation, please.
Dhurke entered the tomb at 3 p.m. The time the hostage exchange was to take place. Or rather, Dhurke, as channeled by Miss Faye, did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Mr. Inga was already dead. I say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dhurke in place of Miss Faye. Oh, she's only 44? Okay, Okay, save here, make sure I get this all right. This person was already hiding in the tomb, wishing to channel Dhurke in place of Miss Faye. Amara?
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Mr. Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to his private quarters and channeled his spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for the hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid herself. Then when Dhurke entered at 3 p.m., she snuck up from behind and forcefully drove Dhurke's spirit out of Miss Faye's body. Drove his spirit out of her body? Impossible.
Objection!
Actually, there is a way to do that. With a Magatama of parting, that is. Using one, anyone can drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave. Are you telling me that the extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was... That it was. That's right, Prosecutor said, Maddie. And you've seen one in action before. You saw the glowing red Magatama sent the High Priest back to the Twilight Realm. And how it turned to spent pale brown it's spent pale brown afterwards. How could I forget that? I should have remembered that. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb looks that way because its power had been used up in pushing Dhurke's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right? I probably passed out as soon as Dhurke's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long, after all. After that, Queen Amara must have dressed herself as Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit. We can assume she had it all planned out. Then Queen Amara must have changed into Dhurke's clothes, smeared blood onto them, and picked up the knife and channeled Dhurke's spirit. That's why Dhurke didn't remember. That's how she made it look like Dhurke had committed the crime. And that's how she escaped, right under our noses. She's nervous now, God. I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dhurke, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? So ultimately, it was all for naught. Nayuta? Those dreams of revolution Dhurke was always spouting. They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people. In the end, they were simply fantasies. Nayuta, how can you... Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution has withered on the vine. Its fate is sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No, Dhurke's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Nayuta, don't forget that Dhurke's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now the rebels and their sympathizers who have been calling for his release can't be charged with abetting the accused. So the revolution is far from over. It's only just begun. No, Dhurke has not yet been proven innocent. You have merely indicated the possibility of his innocence. What do you mean? Dhurke is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dhurke who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet to substantively prove it. Or do you have conclusive proof that the time of Minister Inga's death was at 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but... It seems further testimony be required of me. As it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion, I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Sadmati, the rebellion must be snuffed out once and for all. You must prove Dhurke Sadmati to be the foul murderer that he was. And every last insurgent and their sympathizers must be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act. As you wish, Your Eminence. Why is Nayuta doing this? Gran should have had him under her thumb, shouldn't have him under her thumb anymore. Mara's not a hostage, so what gives? Nayuta, what's left to chain you to her like this?
Very well then, Queen Amara. Please proceed with your additional testimony.
You have no proof. Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer with nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. Furthermore, Dhurke could have committed the crime while being channeled by Miss Faye. Now let's end this charade. For the eternal glory of Khura'in and its people. Do you understand now, you putrid pepper? There is no point in defending Dhurke any longer. It has all been in vain. Let it go and move on, right? Well, not today. Your theories are all but pillar of salt that crumbles at the slightest breeze. But no more. This ends here and now.
The defense may proceed with its cross-examination.
Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer of nothing but your silver tongue.
Hold it!
Why is Amara doing this, though? Convincing others is all part of a lawyer's trade, so I'll take that as a compliment. You would, wouldn't you? I suppose you have deceived countless souls with your lies. But I should not be surprised, considering you learned from him. Him? You mean Dhurke, right? Yes, the man who deceived and seduced me, a grand priestess with a silver tongue. We are still talking about the case, right? Surely you have heard of a lady falling for the wrong man before. Ah, but to think that I, of all people, would fall under that devil's spell. Wow, how did they ever get together in the first place? Let alone procreate. I would advise all here today to beware this lawyer's silver tongue, lest you too be unjustly painted as a criminal as I have been. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. I admit, I don't have any solid evidence, yet. But you're the only one who could have committed the crime. What on earth do you mean? Including Miss Faye, there are only 3 spirit mediums in Khura'in. Furthermore, when the crime scene was first discovered, Queen Garan was with me and Mr. Wright, while Miss Faye was tied up in the tomb. That means that the Dhurke we saw after the minister's murder could only have been channeled by you, Queen Amara. Insolent lawyer. My god, that's... Eek, forgive us your mercifulness. Really, Your Majesty. Ah, but have you considered the following defense? What if there was, unbeknownst to us, another spirit medium in Khura'in? What? Oh, come on. What are the chances? You lack evidence to support your claim that Queen Amara is the killer, which is why you have had to use the process of elimination to zero in on her. It therefore stands to reason that you would have to rule out all other possibilities as well. Well, can you eliminate the possibility of another spirit medium defense? Of course I can. Under the circumstances, Apollo, there are two ways to establish Amara's guilt. We either prove she killed Inga, or prove she was in the tomb. Which one can I actually prove? Prove she killed Inga or prove she was in the tomb? Prove she was in the tomb. I can prove that Queen Amara was in the tomb when the murder occurred. It seems you are ever bent on painting me as a killer. Well, if the shoe fits. Very well. Let us see some evidence that proves I was at the scene of the crime. You do have some, do you not? There's nothing to prove I was even at the scene of the crime.
Hold it!
By simply changing into Dhurke's clothes and channeling his spirit, is the fact that the killer altered the crime scene. How very perceptive of you. In trying to accomplish everything, the killer would have been pressed over for time, and may have committed an error that could prove crucial to this case. And sometimes the significance of certain pieces of evidence can change, in the face of new facts and circumstances. Why don't you take another look at all the evidence we have? You think I'll see something in a new light? Is there anything from the tomb that's taken on a different meaning now? Only way to find out is to reconsider each piece based on our current understanding. Yeah, I think I know what it is. I think it's this, the pink butterfly pendant. Dhurke has a blue one. I'm gonna save my game here, just in case, but I think it's this.
Objection!
I was right, Queen Amara. Does this pendant look familiar to you? Why, that is... We found it in the tomb, and has the minister's blood on it. Which means it was probably dropped in the course of the crime.
Objection!
And? I fail to see how it's relevant to your argument. Did it not belong to the accused? That's what I thought too. After all, Dhurke had said it did himself. He said that. Yes, but it was a lie. Because I believe he was covering for someone. Covering? How? For who? There's a certain piece of evidence that shows that the pendant isn't Dhurke's. Dhurke's corpse photo.
Take that!
That's a photo of the accused's body, is it not?
Yes, it is, and I'd like to call your attention to a certain spot in it. This right here proves that the pendant that was found in the tomb wasn't Dhurke's.
Take that!
You will notice an object near Dhurke's left arm. It's an identical pendant, except it's blue.
Oh, now that you mention it.
Don't you find that a little strange? Why would he own two of them, but in different colors? Here's what I think. The pendants were meant to go together as a pair. A pair? If the blue pendant was Dhurke's, Then what about this pink one with Mr. Inga's blood on it? Who do you suppose it belongs to?
Objection.
Sorry to disappoint, but no fingerprints were found on the pink pendant. Therefore, we have no way of knowing to whom it belongs.
Objection.
There is a fingerprint. Ah, but that's where you're wrong, Prosecutor said Manny. I'm guessing you didn't know that this pendant is actually a locket. Come again? Now this is where it gets interesting. When we open this locket up, we found a faint fingerprint inside, on the back of the lid to be exact. What? No. So now the question is, to whom does the fingerprint belong? Queen Amara. It belongs to you, doesn't it? Oh. It seems I've truly rendered the witness speechless this time around. This cannot be. Mother, tell me it does not belong to you. Nayuta, Think about it, Queen Amara. Dhurke must have realized that you were channeling his spirit, and he had probably already figured out who the minister's killer was. And yet, he still claimed that the pink pendant belonged to him. But why would he do such a thing? You really don't know. He was protecting you. Because he loved you. He loved you until his very last breath, and beyond. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. Dhurke knew everything, even that he was being used. But he kept quiet, all for your sake. Dhurke, why do you always... Well, Queen Amara? Dhurke, the one whose love for you never wavered all these years. Are you gonna betray him now? Dhurke, This cannot be. I refuse to accept it. Queen Amara, are you ready to confess to your crime? I can deny it no longer. The truth is, it was I, Amara Sigatur Karain, who slew Minister Inga. That's preposterous! Why?
This is beyond belief.
Mother, why would you? Forgive me, Nayuta. I never wished to cause you such sorrow. But I had no choice. It was the only way. The only way?
So in the end, Queen Amara and Dhurke sad Maddie. I suppose this means that they were unable to reconcile while he was still alive.
I don't think the state of the kingdom, or the incidents that passed, would have allowed that. They are prisoners of their shared history, so to speak. Queen Amara, there's something I need to know. You had staged a near-perfect crime. So why did you bring this pendant into the tomb with you? You should have known it could come back to haunt you. I do not really understand it myself. I had nearly been assassinated by my own husband. Yet I could not bear any hatred towards him. I was unable to discard this, or part with it for even a short time. As with Dhurke, I have never stopped loving my husband for the past 23 years. Mother. So she really believes it. That Dhurke tried to assassinate her. actually belongs to Amara. Your Majesty, is it not time? Time to declare Dhurke innocent. I would ask that you do this for my beloved, who now dwells in the Twilight Realm.
Very well, then. Your Eminence, Prosecutor Sadmati, if you have no further objections.
This cannot be. My mother? I have no objections. Dhurke, I did it. I finally did it. I prove your innocence, but he hasn't been proved innocent of attempting to kill Amara 23 years ago, though. But...
Very well, then. Being that Queen Amara yet lives, we can no longer charge the accused for the assassination that never came to fruition. As for the murder of Minister Inga, the truth has been laid bare for all to see. Therefore, I will now pass judgment upon the accused, Mr. Dhurke Sadmati.
Your benevolence? I cannot accept this. Is something the matter, your benevolence? Queen Amara is lying. Makes no sense. Queen Amara would not have killed my father. What's with her all of a sudden? Is this some sort of lingering affection towards Nana? Rafa. Speak the truth, Queen Amara. Did you really kill my father? Yes. There is no mistake.
She has confessed to the crime, thereby clearing the accused of all suspicion. As such, I see no need to continue these proceedings.
Barbed head, Hornhead. Are you going to let this stand? Dhurke's been proven innocent, and he's about to be declared not guilty. Even so, something doesn't feel right. Yeah, something doesn't. Apollo. If you have any doubts, now's the time to raise them. After all, the courtroom is a place for finding the whole truth. But it's all up to you. There are definitely things that don't quite add up. Does this mean that the whole truth hasn't been brought to light yet? No, it hasn't. Should I push to continue this trial? I'm gonna save here, but I'll push to continue it. Push to continue. Your Majesty, I have a feeling we haven't discovered the whole truth. And the only way we'll ever find out is to continue this trial. Hornhead.
Very well, then. Will the defense please tell us this? One important fact about this case yet to come to light.
The motive. The reason. Queen Amara. There's something I still don't understand. What was your motive for killing Justice Minister Inga? That is a fair question, and one that I shall now answer. It was for the future of this kingdom that I slew Inga Karakul Karain. To avert further tragedy, his death was an unfortunate necessity. Further tragedy. Over the past several years, Mr. Inga had been rapidly expanding his power. He has established the secret police and was relentless in his pursuit of the insurgents. He even had the overwhelming support of the people, but still he was not satisfied. Hungry for more power, he began planning a coup d'etat. You mean his plot involving the Founder's Orb, which led to Maya Fei's abduction? Yes, Mr. Inga planned to use the orb to gain access to great spiritual power. After which, he would assassinate Garan and usurp the throne. His machinations were reminiscent of the terrible tragedy of 23 years ago. And as one affected by that incident, Amara vowed to never allow a repeat of such events. Yes, and the Holy Mother delivered onto me the perfect opportunity to fulfill my vow. Security amid the courtyard was rather light due to the rite of channeling, and Inga had barricaded himself in the tomb of his hostage away from prying eyes. I knew I would never again have such a perfect opportunity, so... At 2 p.m. during the rite of channeling, I slipped into the tomb and slew the minister. Oh. She's lying. My bracelet. Apollo. Yup. It seems this trial is far from over. Queen Amara, I believe you're still hiding something. But if you want to keep on playing this game of hide and seek, then let's start with that last statement you made. If I must. We're looking for something off here. Look at her fingers. I think it's me slew the minister. Oh, the finger. Saw that? Yeah, I saw it. It was the finger. At 2 p.m., that's the part of it that's...
Gotcha!
Queen Amara. You're not very comfortable talking about the 2 o'clock rite of channeling, are you? I can tell because the finger on your left hand twitched almost imperceptibly when you did. Oh. And that pose you make. Is there something about your chest that makes you nervous? Whatever do you mean? The murder occurred at 2 p.m. And I'm pretty positive Amara was in the tomb at that time. So then why is she so self-conscious about her chest when she talks about the rite? The rite of channeling. Didn't Albie snap a picture of it? Queen Amara, I have here a picture of the rite of channeling. It was secretly taken by a certain individual.
Objection!
Such insolence. I would have the perpetrator's name at once. Sorry. No can do. You see, I just happened to find it on the ground, so... Do you take me for a fool? How about we discuss the photo's origin a little later? Because right now... there's something much more pressing at hand. I believe this photo merits further examination. I just wish there was more to see it in it than darkness and more darkness. We might be able to make out a few more details with some image adjustments. Let's ask Emma if she can help.
Bailiff, please summon Detective Sky to the Hall of Justice.
Here you are. I was able to obtain a much clearer image by raising the brightness. What's that right there? Yeah, she has a spot. What's that spot that's on her? An injury? No, wait. I think it's a burn scar. Was she the one who started the fire 23 years ago? Wait a second. Your Eminence. You don't have a burn scar like that on your chest. Yeah, she doesn't. She's really angry right now. What does that mean? What's going on here? If the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan, then who is it? Has to be Amara.
Take that!
Queen Amara, the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan. It's you posing as her, isn't it? The two of you look quite similar, but there's no surprise considering you're sisters. Even the shape and position of your facial tattoos are almost exactly the same. And you are both capable of channeling spirits. Therefore, it would have been easy for you to impersonate Queen Garan. Queen Amara, you have a burn scar on your chest, don't you? Please remove your round mandala so we can see what's behind it for ourselves. What the? She does. Look! It's the exact same burn scar as the one in the photo. So where was Queen Garan at the time?
I don't understand.
I knew it. For the person in this photo, it really is. Yes, it's Queen Amara.
This is absurd. Are you suggesting they switch places?
Amara's confession earlier was also false. Mother, what is the meaning of this? Don't you see? This changes everything. We know for a fact that this photo was taken at 2 p.m. The exact time that the murder took place.
But... That would mean Queen Amara couldn't possibly have committed this crime.
Exactly. She now has an ironclad alibi. So Mr. Inga's killer couldn't have been Queen Amara.
I'm afraid I no longer follow the fence. Was it not Queen Amara who channeled the minister and the accused to stage a crime?
Yes, that fact has not changed. We have evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. And Dhurke could have only been there in the tomb if she was channeling him. Which means... while Queen Amara did use spirit channeling to stage the crime, she didn't kill Minister Inga. His real killer is someone else.
Polkunka!
What's going on here? Was her merciless covering for someone?
If Queen Amara is not the killer, then who is it?
Isn't it obvious? Why was this rite being held in the first place if Queen Garan wasn't going to perform it? Who was behind the two sisters switching places, and for what reason? The answer to these questions, along with the establishment of Queen Amara's alibi, obliterate a certain someone else's alibi. Queen Garan.
Take that!
Why, is that some kind of joke?
No, Your Majesty. I could never joke about something so grave. The only one who seemed to have a perfect alibi at the time of the murder was Her Eminence, Garan. Queen Amara, didn't your sister, Queen Garan, ask you to pose as her and perform the rite of channeling? Aye. And didn't she also have you drive Dhurke's spirit away from Miss Faye's body? And then stage the crime to make it look like he was the minister's killer? And at 2 p.m. while you were performing the rite of channeling next to Queen Garan, didn't she kill Minister Inga while disguised as Dhurke? Well, your mercifulness? It's no use trying to hide it any longer. You need to tell us the truth now. Mother. Justice Minister Inga's true killer is. Well? What the? Mother, no! Ha! I really did it! Your Eminence! My life is yours. Isn't he one of Garan's royal guards?
Queen Amara! Bailiff, arrest that guardsman!
Mother! Garan couldn't have. Could she? She had her own sister shot to silence her.
Someone calling for an ambulance, quickly, now!
That I wasn't expecting. I was not expecting that to happen. There. I did really good in this part, though. Unlike the last one, I didn't make any kind of mistakes here. Hopefully I don't make mistakes in the final one now, coming up. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. So yeah, a lot of twists. You know, Dhurke being dead this entire time. Amara, channeling him. Garan, lying about her alibi. This case is just an endless amount of twists and turns. But I think we're finally going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to finally find out what happened 23 years ago to Apollo's father. So yeah, this is the best case in the game. Yeah, 100%, I would say this is the best case in the game. Definitely my favorite one. My favorite one before this is the Phantom one, but I would say this is probably the best case in the game now. I would agree with that. So thank you guys for watching. I will have the next part up for you guys as soon as I can. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.